Alright guys, welcome back. Okay, so I've been working on the deck, and I think because we've concluded of what actually needs to, what you actually need, which is for sure you need Gofu, for sure you need Quick Draw, for sure you need a Level Eater, and then for sure you need the Yugioh tuner, because that's gonna end you with the finishing sequence. So I just testing it, and then trying to find out other routes. Because you know how like before, I would tell you guys like, okay, if you don't open up Gofu, then you can do you can work off Level Eater, Quick Draw, and war off those, and then somehow manage and get and like find your way into the Sahaya play. Like that's pretty much what I'm trying to figure out now. What's the optimal way to do it? And because there's times when you're ending up with like a weird, it's really weird, like this weird setup where Sahaya is level 6. And then you're kind of forced to go into like something that you don't want to do. So you need that extra level 1 tuner so you can level lead the Sahaya that's on board, this one, and then make a level 4, and then Synchro with it again and make the last Sahaya. So that's I'm trying to just mess around with that, tweak it a little bit, see what actually makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So I just maxed out everything that we need. So like for sure, like before it was like Gofu Knight, so you maxed out on Knights and Gofu of course. And then you just hope that you open it. So it's gonna be a similar case here. I'm not playing Knights again. It's just something to do with consistency, because War Arfdal needs to be live oh, this is freaking crazy. This is another deck out, because like it was crazy because like I got ashed and it was pretty devastating as well. Pretty close though, pretty damn close. Like I almost lost. I forgot, I completely lost track of the life points that I was like, oh, did I just lose? So luckily I still had 1,000 left, but still. And I know some of you asked, what do you do against heroes, or what do you do if you go second? I mean, this is kind of underwhelming, the way he opened it, just a Dark Claw. But even then it was pretty threatening. But the simple fact that I had the card that I had to find a way to get over it. Because at first I was like, I'll just go into Librarian and then attack over it and pitch Apprentice Magician. But I was like, wait, I could just OTK. So I just do that, and it ended up working out. So that was pretty cool. And but yeah, like so far the decks, the top popular decks are starting to go to the forefront, and people are starting to gravitate towards. Okay, mainly the ones that are making a bit of noise is Paleo, Pendulum Magician, and Draco, and then some of them are are mixing them up with Blue Boy, because you get the knowledge. It's like a pot of greed pretty much. Or you just summon, add, draw 2. That's like pretty damn good. And some of them, I think a few. There's one of the deck lists, and I don't know where it was. Can't remember what regional it was, but they were maining it in Paleo, because you could get it back with Toad, so you could just do it again and then just draw 2, and then I was like, what? That's pretty crazy, dude, because that actually makes sense. It'd be awesome if it was an Aqua as well, so that would be freaking crazy. How much synergy can you ask for then? That's pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty neat, the fact that you can do that. It's pretty much a pot of greed essentially. To top it off with like pot of desire, so that's not too bad. But yeah, I'm liking the apprentice. I'm liking the Apprentice Magician a lot, because like I said, you could even boost up your Librarian, get it up to 44. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, so I wanted to showcase this one because this was insane, man. Okay, so right here, my only worries were Masterpiece, the red kite, the fire kaiju, and a Trish, right? Those were my only concerns. And one Masterpiece or the Trish would have gone through. Like I had to come to terms that sometimes some plays are just inevitable. Like you just can't help it. There's nothing you can do about it. So you have to calculate and see what the best. But I was not expecting that freaking blacker. I didn't even know they played that. So I was like, what the hell is that about? So I was like, okay, well. Okay, that ruins everything, because like I could deal with the Trish, because he would only get rid of one thing, and I was like, okay, well, what the heck? I didn't expect that, so that took me by surprise. And I was trying to kill it to see if I could go for game, but I couldn't. I'd be short. And right here, I thought he was baiting me out because I was like, wait, why would he do that first? And then I ended up, okay, nah, then that happened. Like, I was like, oh my god, this is the first time. Well, I mean, it's Link, so of course, but still, credit to the guy, dude. He freaking had to do all that to freaking get over it. That's freaking crazy, dude. I don't think it's ever happened. But, I mean, if I had twisters, okay, if I had like the optimal setup, it'd be a different story. But, dude, that's pretty insane, man. Great job. Let me put the deck list. Okay, here it is. Okay, so a few changes. Armageddonite's not there. So is Mathematician. Because like I felt like, okay, these are your main 4 cards, like your main key cards that you want to draw into. Because these 4 end you with your Blazar, Quasar, Decode, and Proxy, right? And that's pretty much what you want to do. And then it's a similar case if you move it over here. Like if you open up these 4, it's essentially the same thing, except you kind of have to use your Sahaya, or you have to use Apprentice Magician to make your Proxy. So it's kind of the same thing. So, but except you would much rather want this. But there's like 6 quick draws pretty much, because you play 6 3 twins, I mean, and there's 6 Gofu. So the only thing you want to do is make sure you open up any of this variation with Level Eater, and that's why we're Arfthal's there, because you want to get to it since you don't play Armageddon. And similar case why I decided to put in a lure, because you want to speed up and filter your deck and try to get to it as fast as you can, which is going back full circle is unknown to make consistency a little bit better. Because if you open up tuning, that means you can instant low target and you get to mill, hopefully mill Elevator. That happens. That does happen when I mill Elevator and have a Gofu in hand. I'm like, mill Elevator, and I end up milling it. And that's pretty much the basics of it. And I decided to cut a Roshi because I felt like Harrison pointed it out too, and now it made me think twice about it. I was like, yeah, it's true. You don't really need it. And the only reason, like, if you think about it, the only reason I needed it is because to have that Armageddonite 1-for-1 play. So I can special Roshi, then send Level Eater with Armageddonite, and then go so high that way. But Armageddonite's not in here anymore, so I guess I can cut it. Cause okay, pretty much. Okay, so this is gonna be your first formula, right? Cause that's pretty much what it'll be. It'll either be that, or it'll turn into a jet, and then that's how you make jet the hard way. And then any of these 2 will be your second formula or your first formula, right? And then the third one is just gonna be something you can synchro with generically to make Sohaya the hard way and Level Eater, and then to make it a tuner, because sometimes you gotta take that route. And I was like, well, where does that leave a Roshi? That'll just be an excess tuner that I don't really need. So that's what, okay, I ended up cutting, and it's working fine so far. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then side deck, seeing as what decks are being popular right now, which is Pendulum Magician, Paleo, freaking, and I think Justice Swing got first place at the regional in his region, and then Jeff Jones won the UDS with Pendulum Magician, and then Draco's still there. So I'm not sure how prominent Draco is, but I'm sure it's there because they have that it's there. the invoked version, if not just the turbo dualities and Putter Desires and Demises. So I'm not sure how that is, but like it's like a similar thing where what do they do? What do the top decks do? So it's gonna be the same trick, different pony. And what I mean by that is, like, Jordan did a consistent popping during the player's turn, right? That consistently, you were expected to face a Jordan no matter what. If you were playing against Zoo, you were expecting that. And any other variables would just be by chance, because that's just, they have to hard draw it, which is Ash and Ghost Rider, which is pretty likely because they're both at 3. So you have to consider that. And from your point of view, you have to consider how many disruptions can you get through before the deck is just not worth playing, because like there's no point in playing a deck that if they stop you once then you're just done. There's no point in that. I mean, of course, if you just love the deck, of course you can play it, but like you have to be realistic. But like, okay, Pendulum Magicians have that trap that pops when you the player's turn, but they have to hard draw it. I'm pretty sure, unless they can search, I'm not too sure. And then they have the scales that if they're popped or if they're destroyed, they get to pop a face-up card. I really have to look into it because I know what to negate and what not to negate. But yeah, so those two things come to mind. So like Jordan is not an issue. So I don't know. I have to look into it, but I'll try to get more matches against them, like going second. You should download the game. It's, the more people, the better. But anyways, that's gonna be it. Hopefully enjoy the video, and thanks for watching.